What's going on? In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how you can start closing at 20 to 30% for your agency consistently. The first thing you got to do is just stop taking follow-up calls. From the clients I've spoken to and my own experience, follow-up calls are the worst thing ever. The harsh truth is that they're just a smoke screen for cold B2B traffic. 95% of the time, prospect just doesn't trust you or they don't trust your service. It is entirely possible to close deals on the first call right now in 2025, even if it's cold traffic. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down how you need to actually think about sales so you can do that. And then I'm going to give you a full selling process that you can follow that I'm using to close deals so you can actually close deals for your agency consistently and stop dealing with these follow-up calls of prospects that just ghosting you and never actually get on a follow-up call with you. So the first thing I'm going to cover is how sales actually works. So what you need to understand is all that sales is someone has a painful problem. They want to solve that problem and then achieve a state that their desired state that doesn't have that problem anymore. And where you come in is you're simply the bridge between those two states. Your offer and your solution, your product, your service, you need to design the sales call so that you become the bridge that they need to get from where they are to where they want to be. That's how it works at first principle. And what actually makes them buy is what you can see right here. So pain plus confidence equals action. So action in the form of a closed deal is only going to happen if you build enough pain in their current situation and you actually create enough confidence in you and your service. And how you actually build pain is you understand their current problems, because by the very nature of asking them, you're going to build pain, and then you're going to ask them the consequences of those problems so that even more pain is built. Now, in the B2B space, you're going to be dealing with business owners. Some people will be older, some people are going to have a bigger ego. You need to be a bit more careful how you actually ask questions, but you need to get people in pain, or there's no reason for them to escape that and buy from you. The second thing is confidence, and that's going to come from your offer, your conviction, and your social proof. So if your offer is just the same as everybody else's, they've heard it before, it's really doesn't have that much pull, they're not going to get confidence from you. If you're doubting yourself, if you're umming and ahhing and you don't have conviction, they'll never have the confidence that you can bridge the gap. And then social proof is obviously going to come from your clients and all your testimonials if you've got them. That adds confidence as well. So how it works in B2B sales is there's something like an action threshold, where if certain people have a certain pain threshold and a certain confidence threshold, if you can get past those thresholds in pain and confidence, they're going to buy from you. So how you actually think about it is you invert it as well. It's pain is just the opposite of pain is pleasure, and future pacing their goal. And then confidence is almost just removing doubt. So if you can remove doubt and add as much pain as possible, you're going to close them. And you're going to be able to do this 20, 30%. And I'm going to explain how you can actually do that with this proper sales process now. So this is a full selling system I'm about to give you. It's all designed around a one-call close where you take 45 to 60 minutes to close them on a deal. Now, if someone doesn't have time to hop on a call with you for 45 to 60 minutes, don't take the call. If you're setting them in the DMs, in emails, whatever, if you're cold calling them and they say they can't spend that much time on a call, well, you simply tell them, oh, that's great, totally understand. But you need to get that, you're not going to be able to sell someone in 20, 30 minutes. So you need to find a time where they can spend 45 to 60 minutes to sit down with you and seriously investigate their business, their problems, and how you can help them. So as for the structure of the whole thing, so you have your line of questioning, you have your pitch and Q&A, you explain the price, you handle objections, and you take payment. Everyone knows that handling objections is the hardest part about all this, so I might make a separate video about that as well, because handling objections is pretty much what makes or breaks the sale. But in terms of the structure of the call, the first thing you need to do is actually just set the agenda. So you need to hold the frame of the call. I don't care how old this person is. I don't care about your prejudgments. You need to be the one holding the frame. So you're going to explain to them that you're going to ask them questions about their business, see if they're fit, and then from there they can decide if they want to be a part of it or not. If they don't agree to that, if they start saying oh no, what's your price and what's all this, you can try and handle that there and then by just saying, yeah, great question, we can cover that at a later time. I'd just like to understand your business before I even know if you could be a fit or not. If they keep objecting to that, you've just got to end the call, because they're never going to close. So set the agenda, get their primary motivation for being on the call. Some people will be more vague about it. Some people will be very obvious about it. You need to get to the bottom of it and figure out the main problem. So if I'm running an agency, I'm helping other agencies set appointments. Their main problem is just going to be appointment booking. The calendar's not full. They're not closing as many deals as they want, right? That's how it works. If you're selling Facebook ads, they've got a bad return on ad spend, they've got bad this, like just apply this logic to your niche. Figure out the main problem, and like if they're being vague about it, like you need to ask more questions so that their answer is actually like applicable to the call can actually continue. So like ask them, could you explain that for me, or could you delve into that a bit deeper for me? What do you mean by that? Like you need to get to the main problem, and then from there you just need to understand their current problems. So qualify them a bit, get to understand like their business and whether you can actually help them or not. Like understand their pricing, what they charge clients, what they sell, like how long they've been doing this for. And then what you need to go straight into is just figuring out their problems. So you need to ask them questions that by nature of the marketing, like I said before, is just going to create pain in what they're doing. And then what you'll do is you'll pull pain from those problems in a discreet way. So if someone's not booking a lot of appointments, you can ask them, or why do you think that is? And they're going to go into this spiel about why this cold DM's not working. I'm landing in spam. Like you get the idea, right? So from there, once you've built enough pain, you need to start like creating separation. You need to like start asking them questions that make them imagine where they want to be. It's like ask them what their goal is, ask them like why they want the goal, ask them why they actually want to be there. And what you're going to do is you're going to create like two different states: their current desired state that's painful, and their future state that where the problem is solved and they've achieved the goal. Because you're setting up you coming in as this bridge when you pitch them. Because all you're doing for sales, like Moses says this all the time, you're selling a vacation. You're not doing anything else. You're not selling your service. You're not selling anything. That's just the vehicle you're using to actually close the deal. Other than that, you're just selling a transfer like of states from a painful one to a desired one. So yeah, future pace the goal and understand why they actually want it in a discreet way. Like be careful, some B2B business owners, they're going to have an ego if you ask these questions. So you can judge that like as you're answering the questions, are they going to be someone that lets their ego get into the way? If you think that that's the case, just ask them the goal they want and then just move forward. But do not move forward unless you've actually got a goal, like a tangible goal that you can then draw back on when you pitch them, when you handle objections, all right? These two are so big. So you need to get them to admit they can't bridge the gap on their own. So when I first started taking sales calls before I could close deals, I never asked this question. And the problem is, if they don't admit that they can't do it on their own, why would they buy from you? So before you proceed, like you need to get them to admit in some way that they can't do it on their own. And that can be in like 3 ways. So they can't do it in enough time, like they can't do it quickly and they want to do it faster. They don't know how to do it, or they want like guidance from someone who knows what they're doing. If you hear any of those 3 things, you can move forward to this next point, which is you need to get them committed to solving the problem now. So you need to get them just like the question I asked is like on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you to making this happen? If they say a 2, just end the call. Like it's a bit of an exaggeration, but if they can't if they're not committed to solving the problem now, then there's no point pitching them. Like if they say, oh yeah, we're looking to solve this in around a month, well, there's no point pitching them because they're not going to close. Key points, yeah, do not speak over them. So be silent. Whenever you're answering questions, just shut up, answer the question, and then let them go on a rant about their current situation. Let them sit in their current situation. Do not coach or add value. Like there is a place for this in some, like if you're selling to like organic inbound traffic, you can do that as well. But when you're selling to cold traffic, all that adding value is going to do, if we go back up here, adding value, solving problems is just going to make them put them in less pain. So if you put them in less pain, again, like they're not going to take the action of buying from you because they're not in as much pain anymore. Do not go off on tangents, follow the process. So yeah, I've had a client that sometimes just goes into these rants about, all these questions. They start talking about random stuff. Then the client starts asking them questions and the whole sales process just goes to the dogs and you can't close the deal. Get them to go more in depth if their answers don't make sense. I touched on that before. Forget about the close, just see if you can actually help them. Like if you have a product that can actually help someone, and like you just need to find out if they're a fit first. Like forget about the close. Like you need to diagnose them first. And actually, I saw a video from like Charlie Morgan once, and he explains really well. He said like it's like and Hormozy too. You need to would a doctor just prescribe a solution without diagnosing their patient first? Like you really need to understand where they are, why they're there, and get to understand and see if you can actually help them. Because if you can help them, then you can have all this conviction that you can actually help them and solve the problem. Don't try and close them. Just forget about it. Just help them first. Treat it as like a help call. Then after that, you have the pitch. So if this all goes well, if this all goes to plan, you'll have the pitch where all you need to do is keep this very vague and high level. If you have like a pitch deck, that's fine, but keep it very high level, vague. It's good to show and not tell, but you need to sell the vacation. You need to sell the outcome, not the product or the service. You need to keep it vague so that when it comes time to answer questions, the prospect is only answering questions that they need to be comfortable to close the deal. If you start talking about this specific Facebook ad or this activation campaign or this pixel or this like cold DM or this like, you're talking about things that the prospect might not see value in. And so the perceived value of what you're about to do is not as high. They don't want to buy from you because they don't see the value in what you're selling. For the Q&A, yeah, make them enter your frame of confidence. So just like thank them for the question every single time and say, I totally understand why you asked that, or great question. Clarify what they actually mean. If like they're being vague about something, like if they're saying, oh, Facebook ads don't work. Oh, totally understand, John. Could you tell me why you think that is? Have you run Facebook ads before? Like, you need to ask the questions in a way that's not going to bring up their ego, but borderline helps them break their own doubts themselves. Like, they need to be able to break it without even you saying anything. Answer like very concisely, so straight, short, to the point, and link it back to the main desire. So this is how this is going to work. This is how this is going to work, and it's all designed to fill up your calendar. That's how it works. So you need to just link it back to the main problem you're solving. Key points, yeah, it's all about what you say, not how you say it, and raw conviction, like sell a lottery ticket. Like, if you don't believe in your product, you need to at least believe in your capability to solve a problem. Otherwise, you're never going to, you have to get conviction from somewhere. That's one of the only places you can get it. If this all goes well, so once they ask for it, you actually explain the price. So this, yeah, again, this should only come when they ask for it. You say the price and you just shut up. Whatever you're charging, do not like charge less than what you think you're worth. You need to present this with serious confidence. Don't if you sound unsure, you are doomed, like I've put here. And this is literally the most important part of the call. Like, if you cave in and you say a price, they're silent, and you start talking and like saying all this stuff, you immediately ruined all the confidence. Handling objections, yeah, this is its own beast, but it's a battle of frames again. Either they buy your confidence or you buy their doubt. And so the question you need to ask yourself is, can you actually change their life? Do you think you can change their life? And if you can, you need to draw so much like actual confidence out of that it's going to give them the confidence they need for the deal to close and trust you. You need to get to the root of every objection. You need to welcome every objection as a doorway to close the deal instead of something to hide from. You think about it like this is all a smokescreen. Usually there's always something under that. Not usually, there's always something under that. They either don't trust you, they don't trust the product, they don't trust the process, they've been burned in the past, they've never invested before. Now, there are objections to handle all this, but I think I might make a whole separate video covering this because like it's its own beast. But like, you need to get to the root of these things and actually just destroy them, because if you leave the doubt, if you barely handle the objection, these things are just going to stick in the prospect's mind when it comes to trying to close the deal and take the payment. It's just never going to close. Serious empathy and charisma. Like, don't be robotic. Like, especially if you're talking to a niche that like you can relate to. Like, these are people, like, they could be your mates technically. Once they're clients, when you deliver a great result for them, you just need to like actually care about them. That's like the secret to sales. Do you actually care about the prospect, or you just want to take their money? With getting payment, like, oh, this is a huge thing. Do not mention like contracts, more information, business, like these proposals. Don't send anything unless they ask for it. Like, all you have to do is get them to pay. If they start asking questions about all that, then you can deal with that. But you want to get them to pay first. So it's the least amount of friction possible. You get them to pay on the call. You send like a payment link in the Zoom chat, or if you can quickly send an email to them with a payment link, you can do that as well. Once they've paid, then you can talk about the next steps. If they start doubting, you need to get to the bottom of it. So you need to go back to this whole objection handling thing. Do not let them run off. No follow-up call. Yeah, just absolutely, you need to focus on a one-call close and getting them closed right then and there. Because if you let them follow up, that seed of doubt is going to sit there for so long that, like, for days, borderline, by the time you reach out to them again for a follow-up call, they just don't believe you anymore, and you're just never going to get them on a call. Like, I've had people that said they were going to do a follow-up call. You reach out to them and they just don't do a follow-up call. Like, you need to close these things on the first deal, especially if it's cold traffic. If it's organic traffic, like inbound traffic, you can follow-up calls kind of make sense sometimes, but for cold traffic, the follow-up calls they do more harm than good. So yeah, this is like a full sales process you can follow. So if you're struggling to close deals, like, use this exact process to start closing at a minimum of 20%. It's just going to take time to implement. And probably the most important thing is just understanding the first principles. Like, why do they buy? Like, you need to put them in pain. You need to give them confidence they're going to take the action. If you're struggling to close deals, like in general, there will be a link in the description. Full transparency, it's a funnel. It's designed to sell you something. I don't really care if you click it or not, but of course I wouldn't say no. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want like an objection handling full video, just put that down in the comments. And if you like the video, you can subscribe for more content like this. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.